Math Sparks. Today we are going to learn regarding properties of shapes. First, we'll learn classification of triangles according to the measure of sides. Okay, there are three types of triangle: scalene triangle, isosceles triangle, and equilateral triangle. In case of scalene triangle, we see that none of the sides are equal. So it is a scalene triangle. Here in this figure, we see that one side measures 5 centimeter, the other 3 and the other 8. None of them are equal. So it is a scalene triangle. Isosceles triangle. It is a triangle where at least two sides are equal. In the figure, we see that one side measures 3 centimeter, the other side also measures 3 centimeter, while the other side measures 2 centimeter. So here two sides measures 3 centimeter. So it is the case of isosceles triangle. Equilateral triangle. In case of equilateral triangle, all the three sides are equal. Here in the figure, we see that one side measures 4 centimeter, the other 4 and the other as well 4 centimeter. So it is the case of equilateral triangle. Now let's move on to classification of triangle, measures of angles. First one is acute angle. Okay, in case of acute triangle, we see that all angles are less than 90 degree. In the figure, we see that one is 65 degree, the other angle measures 75 degree and the other angle measures 40 degree. So all the three sides are less than 90 degree. The other one is right angled triangle. Okay, here we note that it has one angle that is less than 90 degree. So it is the case of right angled triangle. In obtuse angle triangle, we see that it has one angle which is greater than 90 degree. Okay, here in the figure, we see that one angle measures 120 degree, while the other two measures 35 degree and 25 degree. So at least one angle is greater than 90 degree. This is the case of obtuse angle triangle. Here we see that there are three types of triangle according to measures of angle. They are acute angle triangle, right angle triangle, and obtuse angle triangle. Defining triangles. If you know two angles of a triangle, you can easily figure out the third. The three angles need to add up to 180 degrees. Here in the figure, we see that 40 degree and 50 degree are already given. Now, suppose the third angle which is not given is x. So what will happen is 40 degree plus 50 degree will come up to 90 degree, and we know that the sum of all these three angles is always 180 degree. So 180 minus this 90 is 90. So we have one angle as 90 degree. Therefore, it is a right angle triangle and a scalene triangle. Okay, because what was the case of scalene triangle? We knew that in scalene triangle, none of the sides were equal. Now let's move on to the other one. Here in this figure, we see that one angle is 40 degree, the other angle is 70 degree, while the third angle is not mentioned. So under such cases, when we add these two, we get 40 degree plus 70 degree, which is 110. Now we always know that the sum of all these three angles will be 180 degree. So when we minus 180 degree minus 110, we get 70. Therefore, two angles have the same measures. Two angles are having the same measures. Okay, we already have 70 degree, and the one that we have received is also 70 degree. So two angles are having the same measures. Now let us see this. because their angles are congruent. The opposite sides' length are also the same. Now what is congruent? Congruents mean having same thing. When we have same sides or same angle, then it is a congruent triangle. Okay. In case of congruent triangle, what happens is triangles are congruent if they have same three sides and same three angles. But here we are having two same sides. Okay. So since two same angles, so since we are having two same angles, their two opposite sides will also have the same length. So this is the case of isosceles triangle. Now let us move on to the other example. Here we see that we are having two angles as 60 degree 60 degree. Now we need to find out the third. 60 degree plus 60 degree is 120 degree. Now we know that the sum of all these three sides is already 180 degree. Now in order to find the third angle, we need to minus 180 from 120. So we get is 60 degree. Now because all the angles are congruent, all of the sides are also congruent. We already knew that if all the angles are same, their sides will also be same. So this is the case of equilateral triangle. Now let us move on to quadrilaterals. What is a quadrilateral? A polygon that has four sides, angles and vertices. Okay. See, in the first one, which is a kite, it has four sides. There are four angles and also vertices. Now another one is parallelogram. Okay. Same thing, it has four sides, four angles and vertices. The third one is a square. Fourth one is a trapezoid. Fifth one is a rectangle. And sixth one is a rhombus. So these all six figures are examples of a quadrilaterals. Now how do we classify the quadrilaterals? Kites. First we see that there are no parallel sides. Okay. In case of kites, we see that there are no parallel sides. In trapezoids, what's happening? One pair of parallel sides. See, upper one and the lower part is making two parallel sides. So it is a trapezoid. In parallelogram, what happens is two pairs of parallel sides. In parallelograms, we get two pairs of parallel sides. What happens in the case of rhombus? In case of